All right, guys, I am grading your Dynasty football trades. If you want your trades to be considered, it's quite simple. All you got to do is join our Discord with the link in the description. Then anytime you put a trade in the Dynasty Trades text channel over there, put a screenshot, include some context, and we will consider it for this video series. A lot of deadline deals are probably going to be in today's show. I'm going to try and get through the entire Discord by myself, but I'm also aware that in 30 minutes, I need to go live to do a Dynasty startup draft with you guys on this channel. So let's see how many I can get through. I'm going to get through as many as I can. So here we go. First one of the day is from Wacky Orb. I'm the Brady team, 12 team Superflex PPR. I'm the 1 seed with a great roster, but my quarterback room is Russ, Zach Wilson, and Stafford. Oh gosh, that's rough. Edit, the second and third are both likely late. Okay, so you got Brady. You sent away a late second and 25. Okay, you know, I don't hate this move. Tom Brady could retire after this year. But again, if you're 12-1 in a Superflex league and you have Russell Wilson, Zach Wilson, and Stafford, you're not feeling good at all. So I think there's enough risk reward there for me to take the Brady side and to understand why you would make that kind of move. So I'm okay with that. 12 team, what's up, BMAC? He says 12 team Superflex tight end premium. I received Treylon Burks, my 23 first. Back and a 24 mid for AJ Brown. We'll miss him, but it felt like I got a steal, and I love adding more first. I now have 4 23 first and 4 24 first. I think I'll be all right losing AJ Brown. You tell me you think, Savage. All right. So let's look at the deal. You get Treylon Burks, a 23 first, a 24 first for AJ Brown. Look, I love AJ Brown just as much as the next guy, but I've also been a huge advocate of buying Treylon Burks this entire offseason. You know, I made a video about it. You guys can check it out on our channel. But I think there's been some huge negative energy towards Treylon Burks. But I still think he can be a dominant wide receiver in the NFL. And he has started to show that over the past couple weeks. How incredible was that touchdown, by the way, that he made with that direct helmet contact? That was a grown-ass man catch. I love Treylon Burks. I'm all for, like, doing this to build around my roster. You lose A.J. Brown, so obviously that hurts. And we're hoping Treylon Burks can ever become that sort of player. But to have those sort of first round picks, I mean, you can get a superstar running back and a superstar wide receiver potentially with those picks. Who knows what you can do with them? So I'm definitely going to sell AJ Brown if someone sends me this kind of offer in my dynasty leagues, as much as I love him. All right, LGF Fletch on the Dak side. Team was pretty old with a losing record and no first round pick. That sucks, man. 12 team Superflex PPR. The first are likely 5 to 7 range. Okay. So you're getting the Dak side. Okay. So it looks like you sent away Mike Evans, James Conner, Joe Mixon, Justin Herbert. Okay. That's the tough part of this trade, isn't it? Because honestly, Mike Evans, Joe Mixon, James Conner, I don't want any part of those guys if I'm on a rebuilding roster. Their timelines are very obvious as far as their relevancy in Dynasty. On the other side, you're getting Travis Etienne. You guys know I love him. Javonte Williams. Hopefully he recovers to what he was. Dak Prescott in the first. So obviously the difficult part about this is losing Justin Herbert. In a rebuild, the last thing you really want to do is to move on from a 24-year-old superstar quarterback, especially if this is a super flex league, which you're saying it is. So it is really tough to lose Herbert. I would have rather seen what I could have gotten for Evans, Mixon, Connor, and just seen, like, could I have gotten 2 firsts, you know, for that pair. But at the same time, it's a pretty good return. You're getting younger at the running back position. You're still getting Dak, who's 29 years old, and you can improve in the draft as well. I would say this is a pretty even deal. I understand why you made the move. I'm just not a huge fan of getting rid of Herbert, but I understand, and I think it's a pretty even deal. Winners Pick Pete says, okay, so first trade I targeted AJ Brown because I have Hurts. I wanted the stack. Komet is my tight end 1 now. One of Fields as well. Badly because I had his quarterback carousel for super flex options between Heineke, Wentz, and Tannehill. Okay. Losing a talent like JJ is always rough, but I believe in Fields. Okay, let's have a look. So the first trade, you got A.J. Brown and Cole Kmet. You sent away T.J. Hawkinson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Ooh. I don't know, man. I'm not sure I make this move. I like Cole Kmet, but I really, really love T.J. Hawkinson in Minnesota. When that trade went down, I was like, buy as much T.J. Hawkinson in Dynasty as you can. TJ Hawkinson isn't old. He's still 25 years old. Think about it. I believe Mark Andrews is 27 years old right now. TJ Hawkinson is 25 years old. He's with a quarterback who heavily targets his tight ends and Kirk Cousins. And Amon-Ra, Amon-Ra is shown to be just as valuable as AJ Brown. You prefer AJ Brown in Dynasty, obviously because of the athletic profile. But I don't know, man. I think I lean the TJ Hawkinson side here, but it is very close. I would rather tier up to TJ than tier down to St. Brown, I think. But that's just my opinion. All right, and then the Justin Fields trade. I mean, look, I love Justin Jefferson just as much as the next guy, but in a super flex league, I'm more than willing to make this deal and grab Justin Jefferson or grab Justin Fields, and as well as 2 extra first-round picks. It obviously hurts to lose Justin Jefferson, the unquestioned wide receiver 1 in Dynasty football, but I'm more than happy to take the Justin Fields side of this. Albino Samoa says 12-team Superflex. I'm win now, but between injuries and bad beats, I want to start aiming for more future in some places. Figured running backs are more replaceable than quarterbacks, so I thought Murray would do better than ETN. Okay, this will be interesting. James Conner, Kyler Murray in a third, Geno Smith, Everett, and Travis Etienne. Okay. So Geno is a huge wild card in Dynasty right now. I think he'll get a long-term contract, but he's still 32 years old. Hard to really evaluate him. I'm obsessed with Travis Etienne. You guys know that. But at the same time, in a Superflex league, getting young at quarterback like this with Kyler Murray, I think it's worth paying the price to go out and getting a young 25-year-old Kyler Murray who on any given season, when he has a healthy offensive line and wide receiver core, can be a top 3 quarterback in fantasy football. So I think it's a smart long-term move. And you're right, Kyler Murray will outlast Travis Etienne in the league. That's just truth with what we know about the running back position. All right, Mike. He says 12-team Superflex. It's a dart throw of a trade. I already have Mahomes, Mike White, Heineke, and Stafford, but who knows? Decent value. I remember talking about this trade with you on a live stream, and I remember when you said, yeah, the person wants me to send them Mecole Hardman for Zach Wilson. I was like, of course. There's no risk in this trade. There's no scenario in which Mecole Hardman ever develops to be an alpha receiver in the NFL. There's just no scenario. I know he's only 24 years old, but we know who Mecole Hardman is. And if I had to bet, I think Mecole Hardman probably returns to Kansas City on a pretty cheap deal, a team-friendly deal. But if he goes elsewhere, is he going to be in a better situation? I don't think. I think we know who Mecole Hardman is. On the other hand, Zach Wilson, well-regarded prospect, has not worked out, needs to mature a little bit, but in a Superflex league, I'm more than willing to take that kind of shot. That's easy, yes. 12-team Superflex Titan Premium. I'm trading away Everett. I'm rebuilding. I also have Njoku, Goddard, McBride, and thought it was a good idea. Good value for Everett. Okay. 12-team Superflex Titan Premium. I'm trading away Everett. Okay, so you're trading away Everett in a 5th. I just feel like 5th rounds are pointless in a Dynasty rookie draft. Honestly, you're drafting practice squad guys at that point. So that doesn't mean anything to me. You got a 2nd and a 3rd in return. And Everett's only on a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I love this kind of return, even in a Titan Premium format. I think that's a very, very good return for you. All right, Masterus says 12-team Superflex, start 10, rebuild, both picks somewhere between 107 and 111. Okay, so Russell Wilson, like you said, too late first for Dak Prescott. Yeah, I think Dak is kind of on the edge of that 1st to 2 firsts type of value. Probably more like a 1st and a 2nd type of value. Incredible asset if you're rebuilding or if you're winning right now. He's only 29 years old. But this seems like pretty even value for me. And I'm willing to take the bet on Russell Wilson. I know it's been awful. I know he's been struggling a lot. But he has a huge contract. They're not going to move on from him. There'll be a new head coach. Maybe he can re-find his form with a new head coach. So I like the Russell Wilson side of that trade, especially if I'm not competing and I can get future assets as well in a deal back. Artie says, I got bottom. The top guy is a contender and I'm out of the playoff race for this year. Okay. So Juju, Deonta Foreman, Rondale Moore, and Cooper Kupp. Oh, man. There's going to be people who are watching this video who are heavily on either side of this deal, saying, are you kidding me? Cooper Kupp, like when he's healthy, he's going to be a top 5 guy again. There's other people who are going to say, get rid of Cooper Kupp for whatever you can get. He's going to be 30 years old soon. The ankle injury, why did he have a surgery on it? Will Matthew Stafford be there long term? So I understand both sides of this deal. I'll tell you what would make or break this deal is what his contract will look like. Will he return to Kansas City? If Juju gets a 3-year deal to return to Kansas City, because I don't think Deontay Foreman's a long-term starter, and Rondale Moore could be a sneaky flex play like moving forward when he's healthy. And he's only, how old is Rondale Moore at this point? 22 years old, still a very young player. So if Juju is able to get a 3-year deal, I would say this is a pretty even deal. The worst thing we can do in fantasy football and in Dynasty is view a player because of what they've done and not project into the future and ask questions about what they will be. And that's how I feel about Cooper Kupp right now. He's my wide receiver 17 in Dynasty, and that feels even too high, to be honest. Like, I'm wondering, do I want Christian Watson or Cooper Kupp in Dynasty? I feel like I'm probably leaning Christian Watson right now. Just like that's kind of where the edge is for me. That's where the line is at this very moment. But Cooper Kupp, again, going to be 30 years old, a high ankle sprain, but it required a surgery. Really confusing as to why there was surgery on the ankle. But we've seen with aging wide receivers, that's not a good formula. And there's already reports about Matthew Stafford potentially retiring and Sean McVay maybe moving on, as well as Aaron Donald. I mean, what does this team look like? What will Cooper Kupp be if he gets traded or if there's a new quarterback who comes into this team? Like, there's so many question marks around Cooper Kupp. I think this is an even deal. I don't lean either side. If Cooper Kupp can return and be a top 5 guy, then you got to steal. But if Juju gets a 3-year deal, I probably prefer the Juju side. Discord. Someone's name is Discord. Big Mike is continuing this year. 23 first pick will be 10 to 12. Okay. So Big Mike gets Kirk in a third. Oof. I've talked about this before. I'm a big Christian Kirk guy. Like, this year, we give out my guys before each year, and we give you about 5 my guys. Christian Kirk was one of those my guys for me. So I was all on board for Christian Kirk. Made some bold claims before the season. Feel really good about it. But in Dynasty, my stance has always been to sell him this year because I don't believe he's going to be the same fantasy asset once a star wide receiver comes in. Christian Kirk is still going to be a complimentary wide receiver. So now they've brought in Calvin Ridley. They could draft another wide receiver like a Quentin Johnston potentially. And where does that leave Christian Kirk? Probably right back to where he was in Arizona. The 2 to 3 option, which could be valuable based off of efficiency, but he won't see the same target share once Ridley is there and if they bring in another wide receiver. So I'm all aboard getting first round draft capital for Christian Kirk. I don't care about DeAndre Carter at all in this deal. I don't care about him whatsoever. But if I can send Kirk and get a first back, then I'm definitely going to be doing that sort of deal. And I'm a big Kirk fan. P. Brown says both teams are going to the playoffs on Superflex, 2 quarterback with regular flexes. Okay. Team receiving Wilson is going for the championship this year. Okay, so someone gets Garrett Wilson and Goddard. Is this tied in premium? Does it say? And my goodness, they sent away a lot of assets. Okay. Well, if they're winning this year, I don't think Goddard's going to help them. He's not going to be ready to help. So essentially someone got, I think the context for this is, where are those picks? So you got 2 firsts. Will those be early or will those be late? Because if those are early firsts, I'm very intrigued by that side. You also got a 2nd and 2 thirds. This is an interesting one, man. Garrett Wilson, highly talented player. Will Mike White be the answer? I don't know what the answer is long-term for New York. Man, this is interesting. If those are all late picks, I think I'm happy with the Wilson side. But if those are all early picks, I think I'm going to take the picks. I like Garrett Wilson, but I'm going to cash in if. But also, like, how we got to wait until 2025 to utilize some of these picks. Yeah. I'll probably lean the picks if they're early. That's a hard one. That's a difficult one. All right, next trade is from Dak. He says, this is a trade in my league 10-team Superflex PPR. Team A is 8-3. Team B was 7-4. Both teams were clear top 3 at the time. But after Kupp got hurt, Team A decided he couldn't win this year and traded Barkley, Jacobs, and Kupp away. Wow. The picks received will all be later picks, as both teams' picks Team A received are good teams that will be contending for future years. Okay. So all the firsts are late is what he's saying. All the picks will be late. Okay. Oh my goodness. What a deal. All right, so someone got Cooper Kupp, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs. And the other side received 1, 2, 3 first-round picks, as well as 2 seconds and a third. But they're all going to be late. Honestly, if you had Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs, you definitely could have competed this year, though. I know that you're saying that person lost Cooper Kupp, but if he had Saquon and Josh Jacobs, I mean, I definitely think he had a chance to compete this year. I wonder if he might regret that, but yeah, this is an interesting deal. Obviously, you're going full rebuild. I don't think you could get more right now. You definitely could have got more for Cooper Kupp when he was healthy. But yeah, this seems about even value. I think both teams probably are going to win this deal. But whoever got Kupp, Saquon, and Josh Jacobs probably have the ammunition now to actually go out and win the championship. However, if they lose the championship, they will massively regret this trade. I'm always a fan of getting youth on my team in Dynasty. I'm always a fan of doing that. So I think this is an even trade, but I'll take the youth here. Again, I have massive question marks around Cooper Kupp. Gavin says 12 team, 1 quarterback right before the deadline. First looks like it's the 110 to the 112. Second looks like the 204. Okay, probably lost a bit of value, but Godwin puts my lineup over the top. Second flex spot on a wide receiver 5 on the team. Okay, so this is not a super flex deal. Okay, so we get Godwin. We send a third. We get Godwin a third and a second. We send away Deontay, Zonovan, and a first. Ooh. This feels like an overpay. My main concern is, what is Chris Godwin's value without Tom Brady? And it's really hard to know what Brady's future holds. Will he retire after this year? It doesn't feel like it anymore, given the circumstance he's in. But will he be a Buck? It doesn't feel like he'll be a Buck either. I think there's a chance he could go to San Francisco. I think there's a legitimate chance. And the Niners will phrase it as if we're going to give Trey Lance a year to learn under Brady and recover. I think there's a real shot that Brady leaves the Bucs but keeps playing football. There's also a real shot that he retires, and there's also a shot that he comes back. So Godwin's only 26. He's not old or anything. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this deal. I would have rather kept Deontay. I know apparently, this makes Godwin your wide receiver 5. Yeah. And losing the first round pick, we could have gotten youth into this team. Yeah, I gotta go with the Deontay Johnson side of this deal. Really close though. Mike says 12 team Superflex rebuilding, decided to cash in on Heineke's current value. I have Mahomes, Mike White, Milson. Okay, so you moved Heineke. I mean, what do we really... I'm a Washington fan. Heineke is not he's fun. He's not the long-term option here, okay? So to get even a second round pick, I would take a second round pick alone for Taylor Heineke. So I'm more than happy with this deal. What's up, Basie? Okay. This is definitely from one of our follower leagues. So you got Breece Hall, you sent away a first and a second. And I know that second for me will be probably like 105, 106. Pretty even deal there. I don't remember where T Gray's second is though. I think it's later. Pretty even deal here. Yeah, I mean, getting Breece Hall, if Breece Hall can be 95% of what he was after his injury, then this will be a win for you. But my question with Breece Hall is like the timeline. How long does Breece Hall have to wait until he re-finds that form? and the injury was somewhat similar to JK's. So this might be, you might have to wait actually until 2024 to get a full healthy Breece Hall. I'm not saying you will have to, because things change all the time and people recover in different ways. Yeah, this is interesting. I think it's pretty even value though. This is probably what Breece Hall costs at this moment. If Breece Hall, again, if he can become 85%, 95% rather, then you will have won this trade. Our Hurts trade with Breece Hall as a follow-up. The second is late, followed up by flipping Hurts for Herbert with 2 seconds to spare. The drama. Okay, yeah. So he's giving the context. This first one is the Jalen Hurts trade. This is myself and Casey in one of our follower leagues. He sent me this deal. My first is, again, going to be around the 105. I looked at this as an opportunity to just cash in on Geno's current value and get what I believe is considered now a top 5 locked-in dynasty quarterback. Jalen Hurts has made more than enough strides for me. 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year. I just looked this up because I was doing a video about quarterbacks, but he's been incredible. He's an incredible fantasy asset. And I thought that this was a great opportunity to cash in on Jalen Hurts. So I accepted the Jalen Hurts side, so that, I'm going to take that side, but I think it's pretty even value. And then the second trade is this one where he sent Breece Hall, or he sent my first and a second to get Breece Hall. So essentially he got Geno, Rachaad White, and Breece Hall for Jalen Hurts is what it turned out to be. And then at the very last minute, which he's saying down below, at the very last minute, me and Tigray did a trade where I sent Jalen Hurts away to get Justin Herbert, a straight swap. So essentially I ended up getting Justin Herbert at the end of the deal, and I sent away Geno, Rachaad, in a first, which I feel pretty good about. I'm still all aboard Justin Herbert. This was a fun one, Casey. ITBBI. This is a fun 3-way trade. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm a rebuilder. Sent away Ayuk and Tony to get the points off my team and her Williams. I only have like 5 minutes until I have to start this live stream, so I'm not going to be able to break this down. But if you guys want to pause the video right here and look at this trade, too many assets to break down, but this looks very fun. Very fun. Another league I'm trying to push. So getting Adams. Okay. So you got Adams, you sent away Ayuk in a second. I'm really curious where that second is, but Adams is definitely in a position right now where he can help a win now team go win a championship. I mean, any week he looks like a 30-point game. I do have real concerns about him long term. What will Derek Carr's situation look like? Will Adams stay in Las Vegas? There's a lot of concerns I have long term. He's also going to be 30 next year, but if you win, I'm okay to pay this price for Adams. Mike says, what do you guys, I'm gonna have to quick fire these ones. Would you guys do this? I'm receiving the Fant side. Okay. So you sent away Njoku. You're getting Fant, Sky Moore, and a third. Oof. I don't want to move Njoku right now is my problem. I still believe in Sky Moore, and I'm not ready to give up on Sky Moore. I think he can continue to develop into a really good player for them. I think Sky Moore can be to Kansas City what Tyler Lockett is to Seattle. So I do like getting Sky Moore back, and I'm willing to give him time to develop and for them to give him opportunities. But David Njoku looks like a locked-in top 5 tight end, top 5 to 6 to 7 tight end in Dynasty right now. And Noah Fant is not being prioritized at all. This is a pretty even deal. This is a very, very even deal. Spin says, deadline deal. I'm sitting at first in a 12-team super flex full PPR. Trade opponent is last and looking at 23 onwards. Context, I have Mahomes, but then drop off was to Mariota and Carr. My running back room is CMC, Walker, Swift, and B-Rob, so I was happy to move Breece and use Connor for playoffs and grab Kyler as my quarterback too. I'm now looking fresh AF with the above guys plus Tyreek J. Okay, nice. So you were able to move Mariota and Breece Hall, and you got Kyler and James Conner. Yeah, I'm always a fan of getting the young quarterback in a superflex league over the young elite running back, as well as the concerns that we have with Breece Hall. Did you send away any first? No, wow. I'm surprised you didn't have to send away a first, because we all know Marcus Mariota isn't the long-term option there. So really, he'll be on your waivers sooner than you realize. So really, you sent away Breece Hall 2 seconds on the third for Kyler and James Conner. I like this. I like this deal for the Kyler side. I'm all aboard. Okay, so this is the end of the road here, which is perfect because I need to start the live stream right now. But do me a massive favor, drop a like, subscribe if you like the content, and why don't you comment down below? Let me know how you feel about these trades that I've just covered. Join our Discord with the link in the description if you want to be considered in future videos. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you very, very soon. All love.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLand fam.